It's time for Chat with Chuck, live from Windsor, California, discussing stuff on Chuck's mind, life, attitudes, and stuff. And now, your host, Chuck the DJ.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? Amy, welcome in. Dan San, CJ Deb, DJ Hack. How you doing today, Hackser? Sam Nation, I saw in the chat. Sam, how you doing? I love that. I love that question for ReadyBot. How many songs do you think Chuck the DJ has in his his Chuck folder? Oh, okay, all right, just the Chuck folder, just the folders about Chuck. How you doing, Sam? Yeah, if you were paying attention, you were noticing that the opening songs were Chuck related, and for no particular reason. Not because we're going to talk about me all day, although it is Chat with Chuck. So, so I guess we do talk about me, among other things. You notice that, Salami? Yay! Thank you. Namaste, Amy. How you doing today? I do have some fun things to talk about today. A couple interesting things, something new, something old, something borrowed, something blue. And sometimes it's hard. It's hard for me to come up with content for Chat with Chuck, and a lot of times I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. Even sometimes down until the day of. When I'm sitting at home and I write down. I have a little note, a little piece of paper that I keep on my desk, my desk in the house there. And as I think of an idea of a thought, maybe something I want to talk about, I write a one line down or a two line down or two words or whatever it is to remind me about what to talk about. Sometimes they make it onto the show, sometimes they don't. And so that's kind of how it rolls. We are getting killed with rain up here. I know some of you guys, if you any of you here on the East Coast, I see the snow you guys are getting. Oh my gosh, it's wacky. For us, getting a lot of rain, we're kind of up here in the river area, and one of the things that we have concern about is flooding. We are lucky right where I live. We don't have a problem with flooding, but around my golf course, well, not my golf course, around the golf course I hang out with in the area, is a real flooding problem with the Russian River. So we do worry about that. But it's nothing compared to the snow that the East Coast, east side of the country is getting. So those of you, if you happen to be there or whatever, please stay warm, please stay safe. And hopefully everybody will be okay back there. Other than that, it's Tuesday. It's 4:03 on a beautiful 59 degrees. It says here on the computer. So yeah, we're just kind of hanging out. My wife got home from her trip. We're gonna talk a little bit about that a little bit later. My wife has been gone for the last 8 days. She got back yesterday. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Twitch has got a new thing, or at least I just noticed it, regarding moderators. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And I found out something that apparently other people knew that I didn't about the front page and the viewers. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today when we get things rolling. And I am going to talk, I'm not really sure why I'm going to be omitting this. I'm going to talk a little bit, there is a little bit of history that came up in one of my shows last week about drug usage. And so we're gonna talk a little bit about that. Hack is checking my weather. 59 degrees, weather is blowing, or the wind is blowing, and 92% humidity. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with here. So I mean, compared to a lot of people, we're just aces. We're just moving right along. But when we need the rain, we have gone through the drought season out here, and having to let your front yards die, your plants die, not watering, and there's a lot of our house is one of them. We have basically a no water front yard. We took out the lawn. I don't know, 2-3 years ago, maybe longer. Put in a bunch of bark, black bark, and a couple. What do you call them? Those kind of plants that don't take a lot of water. My wife is the plant person. I'm really not. So we have kind of that in the front yard. So it's a low water deal. A couple of the plants that we do have, there are in pots, so they don't take as much water, and yada 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 yada. So yeah, so we do try to be. My wife actually is better about that than I am. She'll even take a short shower, and I'm like, fuck that. I want to. But Salami, according to the weather app where I am, and I just came back from outside, it seems very nice. The weather is 72, and I should know this. I probably should remember. Those of you that are that have hung out with me before know that I have a crap ass memory. Salami, where are you at? What part of the country are you in? I should probably remember this. Low maintenance. Thank you, Deb. Yes, low maintenance flowers, plants. Because I really do have a bad memory. I'm pretty sure I've had a bad memory my whole life. West LA. Okay, cool. Down there, beautiful down there. And I think it's one of the reasons why I didn't do very well in school. I would think that probably if I was in school now with the thing that I have with my memory and my comprehension is probably some sort of learning disability, and they would probably have some sort of drug or something that they could put me on that would help with that. But I don't know. But back then, when I was in school, they didn't do that. They just thought you were stupid, and Hack weather. Rozu. Where is that you, Hack? Is that where you are? The wind is blowing 66% humidity, 5 degrees. Dang me. We are not cold weather people. My wife and I, Minnesota. Oh, right, okay. My wife and I are not cold weather people. Here in California, we never really had to deal. The rare times it would get down, below 30, and there are a few times where it got down in the 20s. That just throws everybody to frick off out here. But that's really rare. Low 30s is not really rare. It's not common, but it's not really rare. So that is kind of wacky. I'll take cold over snow. I don't have the shovel. You don't have to shovel cold. Yeah. A Tina baby out there in the snow sent me some pictures, and I'm like, you know what? It's beautiful. Snow it's beautiful to look at. I mean, it makes a great picture. Looking at snow pictures, even in California, Lake Tahoe, or sometimes up in the hills, it's beautiful to look at. I would not want to live in snow. I don't know how people do it. Obviously, they do, and they get the right clothes, and you just plan extra time when you're driving, or you turn your car on, or your house is extra insulated, or whatever it takes to get through that. You do that. I've lived in I've lived in 2 states. Not basically, I've lived in 2 states. I've lived in California. I lived in Hawaii. You hide in your warm house, yeah. And when we lived in Hawaii. I lived in 3 different houses when we lived in Hawaii, and none of those houses had a heater or an air conditioner in our houses in Hawaii. We just didn't need it. Now we lived in areas of Hawaii. There's certain areas even on Maui. There's like the hot side and the more the cooler side or whatever, up in the hills, and we lived up in the hills, so we weren't down in the Lahaina side that was the hot. We lived up country, so we were fortunate that way. Ryan, ladies and gentlemen, DJ Ryan 22, my Pookie's here, and it is his birthday today. Ryan, 51 years old. And his birthday, and he pops in with Chat with Chuck. My gosh, Ryan, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ryan. Happy birthday to you. Pookie, how you doing? I hope you're having a great birthday, Ryan. I don't know what the hell you're doing here, but thank you for popping in. You actually missed my opening. I actually played Chuck Mangione for you. Actually, was my thought when I played that pre-show. So I hope Brooke's taking care of you. Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm assuming you're probably at work. Sad, 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 sad. But yeah. So yeah, we were talking a little bit about the weather, kind of, as I usually do here for the first few minutes. I just try to kind of ramble on, and before I get into the meat and potatoes of things I'd like to talk about, I do that so people like my boy DJ Ryan when he comes in late, he hasn't missed anything groovy. Yeah, so the first thing I guess we'll get into a little bit. I mentioned my wife. My wife was gone for a week. She was actually over in Baltimore. She got home last night. Just made it out before the snowstorm hit her area, and she was so lucky because that was a concern about getting on the plane and getting out of there and getting home in time. But Hack's checking the Baltimore weather. Yeah. And she had sent me some pictures. She was on a plane, and they did have to de-ice the wings and stuff, and so she sent me some pictures of that. But she was back there for a witchy pagan convention, I guess. I was going to say a conference. Convention, and all kinds of mystical, magical classes and rituals and get-togethers and parties, and kind of very much like a DJ convention that Ryan and I have been to, only for witchy pagan people. They had they planned it because this time of year. I don't exactly remember the terminology, but basically the stars and the planets were aligned in such a way, and it apparently only happens at a certain time, and so it's very good for this kind of thing. And so that's why they had it. Because I'm like, why don't they have it in like July or something? That you're not in the middle of the frickin' winter where it's cold. But apparently they had it at that point in time because of the astrological stuff that they all kind of know about and things, and it was a really good time, a really good time for sharing information. And she, just dove in head first. Salami, that's okay, no problem. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for hanging out a little bit. Doctor's calls are very important. I understand. Thank you, and we'll hopefully see you again soon. But yeah, so she was having a great time, and we of course texted each day, and we called a couple times, and she was sending pictures. They had a very interesting rule there, though. Unlike the DJ conventions, they had basically a no photo rule, right? So like their parties and things, you couldn't take just like open format photos. And you could only take like selfies or with somebody with their permission. You just couldn't like, oh look, that's they're wearing a great outfit, and go click. You had to ask for permission for that. So subsequently I didn't get any pictures of kind of like the workshops or the parties or stuff, because there was you couldn't do that unless you got permission from everybody in the photo, and of course on a party like that, that's just not going to happen. So that was fun. She was gone. Now the only bad thing, well, it wasn't not the only bad thing, but I guess it was a bad. Well, I don't even know if it was a bad thing. I was home alone for a week, and which is something that I'm not used to. We've been married 33 years, and back in the day when she was getting flown around the world to teach her belly dance, her tribal style belly dance, I guess I was used to that, but she hasn't done that for 15 years, so I wasn't ready for the experience of being home alone, and the hardest thing, if you're a single person, is food. I mean, cooking for one person is just, whatever. So I ate a bunch of Newcombs. I went to Taco Bell. I went to Panda Express. And You going to talk about that, Deb? Yeah, and anything can happen. As Deb says, look at the face. And you know what's really funny about this, Deb, is um, well, for those of you who don't know, my boy DJ Ryan, birthday boy, we did a dual stream together on Friday night, and during that time, it came up that I would shave my beard off that I'd had forever for a number of subs. Now, the Grey Dog, if you know Grey Dog suggested that I say I'll do it for 50 subs. Well, I thought that was just nuts. I mean, so I said, well, we'll do it for 20. I'll do it for 25 subs. Which honestly, I did not think I was even going to get 25 subs because I don't get a lot of people here. We got like 6 people, 7 people, 8 people here. I don't get huge streams. And I honestly did not think I would get 25 subs. I did not think I didn't. I would have bet that I wouldn't have bet anything, but I would have bet a lot that I wouldn't have gotten 25 subs. But you know what? We got 25 subs, and so because of that, we shaved the beard off. We did it live on camera. I gave Ryan a razor, and Ryan actually shaved my beard off for 25 subs, and it was and it's weird. So anyway, so then on Sunday I had a big golf tournament out the golf course. And what was really funny was people. I could see people like that we're talking, and it's like they wanted to say something, right? Because they knew that there was something different, but they didn't know what it was, and I guess they don't want to offend you or something, right? But you could see it. You could sense it, you could see it, you could feel it. That people like, what's going on? Finally, on the 7th hole, one of the guys that was actually on the 8th hole, I was on the green on number 7, and he was on the tee box on number 8, and he yells over at me. He goes, "What did you do to your face?" And I'm like, "Thank you for noticing." So I'm going to let it grow back, obviously. But it is weird not to have any fur on the face. And yes, so when the wife is gone and the husband's home and his Pookie, DJ Ryan 22 is here, things happen. But it was weird. I streamed every day. You think I look younger like that, Hack? Well, maybe I'll keep it. I don't know. Anything that makes me look younger, I think it's good. So yeah, so it was weird. I streamed a lot. I honestly didn't stream. I just slap a note on. Yeah, I lost the bet. I didn't stream as much as I thought I was going to. When I knew she was going to be gone, I assumed that I would like do like a couple Deb Styles, mega streams. Ryan says you should keep it shaved for a short bit. I think you do look younger without it. I'll be darned. Well, thank you. Well, gosh, I don't know. So anyway, what was I saying? Tang, how you doing? I can almost pass for 70 now. Thank you, you jerk. Tang, the Shriek Master in the house tonight. Thank you, Tang. Tang is on like I don't know. I don't even know how many. We talked about my bad memory already. I don't know how many streaks Tang is on with catching the shows. But thank you for Tang. Thank you for that. So yeah, I mean I don't know. See, now I lost my train of thought. I can't remember what I was talking about. The golf thing. Just being home with the wife and or being gone, and streaming. So anyway, I assumed that while my wife was gone, that I would be doing some what Deb style, what I call, because Deb is what I call my mega streamer. I thought I would do maybe some 8, 10, 12. At least once, maybe if not twice. Really long streams because my wife's not home. It was raining, so we couldn't get to the golf course. I didn't have a whole lot to do, but it didn't happen. I did one stream. Actually, it was last Tuesday. It was a 6.5 hour stream, which was a long stream for me because I did the Chat with Chuck show, and then I just kept going. Yeah, Ryan. No one can touch Dance Dance DJ Deb's long streams. Not even me. Yeah. But I did stream a lot, and over the week that she was gone, I did stream 37 hours. All total, if I add up all the 8 days that she was gone. So that was a lot of streaming for me. I had a really good time. And because I do as much as I know a lot of you here, you've heard it before. I have bones to pick. I have chips on my shoulders. I have problems with streaming and Twitch and some of the stuff that goes on. But I do enjoy it. When I'm streaming, I do enjoy it. And excuse me, and if I have a chat, I will keep streaming. I will keep going. When the chat gets quiet, I don't. Last night, I think I rated out to Dance Dance DJ Deb with, was it 40 people? I don't know, something like that. I had a pretty good crowd, but they weren't chatting. They were a very quiet crowd. And for me, as we've talked about before, that's part of my enjoyment is the interaction with the chat. And if I've got nobody in the chat interacting, nobody's chatting, nobody's saying anything, or whatever, I'm done. And my back will start hurting. And if my back starts hurting and my chat gets quiet, then I'm like, well, yeah, time to mosey on, time to go. And that was very cool. Now, this leads us into one of the conversations that I wanted to have. So, speaking of last night, which is a Monday night, I do my Motown Monday on Monday nights. There are a couple DJs that don't always, but fairly regularly or frequently. Damn, Pete. Yeah, yeah, you need chatters. I do, Pete. I do. I need chatters. So Monday night, my Motown Monday night starts at 9 o'clock. Although I went on a little early last night, but starts at normally 9 o'clock. And there are two DJs that raid me regularly, not all the time. One of them is DJ Prophet, who is just amazing, and he does a house set, and he likes to bring his crowd in from his house set into my Motown set as a cool down. And he's got a very quiet crowd, and he'll raid me with 30, 40 people, but they're very, 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 very quiet people. They don't chat a whole lot, but they do a little bit. And then the other gentleman that raids me on a fairly regular basis, not always, again, is DJ KGB, one of my favorite DJs on Twitch. And I try to be very supportive of him, and I try to be supportive of people that are supportive of me. If people are raiding me, I try to raid them. And that's sometimes it's hard because there'll be two or three streamers on that I want to rate, that I could rate out to, and then how do I pick which one? That's always hard. But anyway, that's beside the point. So last night, KGB was on, and KGB is a partner, and we've talked about partners before, and I've pissed off partners before, and we've talked about them. Watching his channel, which is my monitor right here in front of me, that's I can see what everybody's doing and everything. He had at one point in time, what the most I saw, it was 2.7 thousand viewers. Obviously, front page. Partner deal, front page, nice job. I applaud KGB for that. Then at one point in time, but he hovered most of the time right around 1.2K, so 1,200 people. He hovered around that area mostly, and that's kind of. And I was thinking to myself, wow, wouldn't that be cool if he rated me with 1,000 people? That would be so badass. I thought, I was thinking that would really, really be cool. I assumed he would probably go to another partner with that many people, and obviously not hold it against him or anything. There's no reason to, but he rated me, right? KGB rated me, and when he rated me with 70 people, which is very nice. A 70-person raid, bring it. but I didn't understand. I didn't understand why he had over 1,000 people in his chat or viewing, as it said, and I only got a 70-person raid. It perplexed me. I was perplexed. It was perplexing as I drink a Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper. So I sent him a note. And, I thanked him for the raid. Hey, gosh darn, thank you for the raid. But I don't understand. I saw you had over 1,000 people in your chat, and you rated me with 70. Thank you. But what happened to the other, 930 odd people? And this is what he told me. And apparently other people knew this, and you all might know this already. I didn't know this, but if they're watching him on front page, which is what he was on, right? When he raids out, the only people that they are going to raid out, send to you other DJs, are people who are interactive in the chat. Okay. Sometimes they follow, sometimes they don't. But the way I understand it, and I this is kind of how I understood it, and I could be wrong, Deb, but this is how I understood it from what KGB was telling me. That if they can be watching him, he could be on front page, and they could be actually watching him because whatever, they're on front page. But if they haven't been active in the chat when time comes to raid, that's what's going to happen. Now, to have 70 people that are active in your chat, that's badass on its own. So, I don't. That's kind of what I understood from it. It doesn't really make any difference. I just thought I'd bring it up. I just thought it would give me something to talk about today. So I don't know if that's the way it is for I don't think it's that way for normal streamers, because I know that if I have 30 people or 20 people in my chat, I can rate out 20 or 30 people. So that's that's the way that works. The front page thing might be a whole different deal. I think it's kind of sad, but that it was. So anyway, I just thought that was a kind of a twitchy weird thing. Next time you see somebody like that, which is why KGB said, which is why when I'm streaming with that many, he goes, I'm always asking people to say something in the chat. It's like, hey, say hi, because that'll register, and so when he raids out to whoever, they'll get those people. That's which I thought was that was really nice. That was very, very cool. Canadian Dave, welcome back. Welcome in the house. There's another moderator. Let's see if we can do this here. Wait. Come on. I put a command in there for you. Dave 1. There it is. Oh, yeah, I put we have one for hack too. I try to there we go. The mods don't get much. Little Chuck is still dancing. He does. He boogies. Moderators don't get a lot of money, so I try to be happy. I try to be fun with my moderators. I try to give them commands. Some of my moderators have 3, 4, 5 commands. Dave and Hack are new, and they're new kind of on a whim. It was kind of funny. A couple of weeks ago, whatever it was, I can't actually remember exactly how long ago. A Tina baby was like in the chat, and she was like, "Oh, we got to make Dave a mod. We got to make and I was just making mods. I don't think I asked Canadian Dave or Hack if they actually wanted to be a mod. I just think I just made them mods. And it's great. I do appreciate it. Hack is a mod for a couple other people. I'm not sure if Dave is. Pete, Pete's a partner, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Damn Pete. French paid sucks when you have 1.5 people and you only get 70, 80 chatters. Yeah. Oh, Canadian Dave. Oh, that's right. You're right. You do a mod for Ryan, my Pookie. And so Pete knows about that, how that rolls. And but still, I mean, 80 chatters, 80 chatters, and I know I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit. 80 chatters, you would think that chat window would just be, just rolling with that many chatters. And that's great. If you look at it like 80 out of 1,000 out of 1,500 people, you're like, well, yeah, but I mean, there may be 1,000 people that are sleeping. I don't know. Yeah. So thank you for kind of chiming in on that one, Pete. I do appreciate that. But yeah. So anyway, so Hack and Dave are the new moderators here. Dan Pete had 500 people and 400 chatters. Yeah. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, and I think that was the other day, Pete, when I was watching you, and you rated out with like 550 people. I mean, that's a lot, So that must have meant that you had, 500 people, 400 people, actual chatters, and I know Pete's doing games, and I couldn't figure out the freaking game, by the way, but that's all right. The gaming aspect of Twitch is obviously huge. We've talked about this before. The DJ world is just such a small itty bitty piece of Twitch. Yeah, that's very cool. So this is leading me into another aspect of something that I just learned about. And we're talking a little bit about moderators. Now, I just found out that you can assign not just giving somebody a moderator or an editor, but now, and I don't know how long this has been there because I just saw it. So maybe it's been here a while. I just saw it. Technology is not my friend. I found out that you can actually assign a lead moderator, right? It's new. It's a few months now. Yeah, I just found out about it the other day, and Deb, you told me about that. Somebody told me. Okay, that's yeah. Okay, now I feel bad because Deb, I apologize. So a lead moderator, as I just typed in here, I put it in earlier. Deb, I have zero memory. They have that power, and the big thing is that you can assign a moderator who can ban or time out other moderators, right? I made a Tina Baby my lead mod, mainly because she's been with me longest. Although she doesn't like the Chat with Chuck show, so she rarely, if ever, comes in here. Sometimes she'll lurk, but she's not even lurking today. She doesn't like the talk show, so she never comes in here. I'm not really sure if I would like it if my lead moderator. You haven't assigned any lead mods? Yeah, you don't have to. I don't see any reason to. Really. I saw the option. I thought, well, why not? I mean, if there's some sort of at some point in time, if there's a problem or something that you really need to deal with, maybe a lead moderator. I don't know if there a special lead moderator, page or whatever. I don't know how that works yet. I haven't figured all that out yet. I just thought it was kind of cool. Like I say, I just the lead moderator thing. So if you're a streamer, like say Sam doesn't have any lead mods, I haven't really, like say, I haven't dived into it deep enough to see where the actual controls for a lead moderator are. And I know Atina Baby, she can mod and unmod people, or they can unmod and unmod people. Yeah, I don't. Is there a special page for them for that? You get a free dinner jacket that says "lead" across the back. I'd rather have it across the front, but that's a whole nother story, a whole nother reason. So yeah, so that's good. Sam, can I talk about your thing? Can I talk about what we have coming up? Is it still under wraps? If you're paying attention, Sam. So yeah, so the lead moderator thing is kind of cool. Sam is doing his, and I don't. I can't remember if was it a year or so ago. Do you do it every year? Sam puts on a raid train, and you know how much I love raid trains. And he's doing once again his 15-minute raid train, which means each DJ has 15 minutes. And man, those suckers better raid out on time, and they better. Every year. I did it last year for the first time, and I think last year I talked about loudmouth close. But it's 15 minutes. And each DJ's got 15 minutes. And the cool thing, they better. The cool thing about it is that it's not just a DJ doing stuff. They can do whatever. Artwork, or there was one DJ last year, and I don't usually out people, but I will. Wonkno, that played one song for 15 minutes. There are people that share stories, that play a musical instrument, that all kinds of stuff. And it's 15 minutes tarot reading. It's 15 minutes, and it's so cool because it goes bang, 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 bang. And how many hours is it? How many hours is it like? It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of hours. Or how many DJs or presenters? I don't even think you could call them DJs. 12 hours, 48 streamers. Yeah, I was gonna say presenters. And I haven't decided exactly what I'm gonna do yet. My first thought was to do this, was to do a 15-minute Chat with Chuck show. That's my first thought. But I don't know. I don't know yet. I could do a 15-minute Chat with Chuck show and rant on raid trains. Wouldn't that be funny? Well, see, I say last year I think I talked about my clothes and my golf stuff and things. So you didn't know I could scratch like that. I don't know, Sam. I'm scared if I do a thing about 15 minutes and rant on raid trains that Sam would never invite me back again. I don't know. That was keep your eyes open, because I'm sure Sam will be putting it all over, and I'll be putting it all over my social media lame ass things. But you want to, and honestly, I remember watching it last year, and really getting caught up in it because I can do whatever I want as long as it's with the TOS. Okay, I'll do it topless. I'm gonna go put some tape over my nipples. I remember last year watching it and thinking, okay, well after this guy, I'll go make a sandwich. But then you all of a sudden you don't want to leave because you don't want to miss it. It's not like a regular DJ stream where the person's streaming for 2 hours or 3 hours, or Deb's streaming for 87 hours. And so if you go miss a song, it's not a big deal. It's hard to get bored. It is very hard to get bored. Jibane, how you doing? Welcome in. Sorry you're late. No problem. No problem. You want me to talk about what we've already covered now that you're here? But yeah, so Sam Nation's his 15-minute raid train. Gonna be wacky. What date is it? Did you show us the date yet, Sam? That's not what TOS means. But yeah, keep your eyes open. A lot of fun. And I was honored to be on it last year because I know there's more people. Sunday, March 15th. I know there's more people that want to be on it than can be on it. He could probably expand it to more hours, but that's just a lot. Two Kids Lynn, Welcome in. Thank you. How you doing? Howdy, howdy. Good to see you too. So Sam Nation's 15-minute raid train. Looking forward to it. Maybe my lead moderator will do something. I don't know. Well, that'll be fun. For those of you that are just popping in, thank you for being here. Chat with Chuck, my Tuesday talk show. I do. I've not as been. I'm not as good as I have been about it. We record it live here. Where are we at here? We record it live here, and then we drop it on YouTube. If you're jogging or cleaning your bathroom, you want to listen to it. I think we're up to about real close, if not, and over 40 episodes of Chat with Chuck. You watch it on YouTube too. I think it's probably more fun to listen to it maybe on YouTube than it is to watch it. The cool thing about being here in person is we got the chat, as I talked about before. We've got the live chat, and we have we got that going on. Whereas on YouTube, it's just listening to what's going on. Let's see here. Where is this here? Oh, I'm looking for something. I can't find it. I meant to look for it before I got on, but I don't know where I put it, so I'm not gonna spend the time to try to find it. I had some new the phone number that is going across the top up here, as I've talked about before. It's a free phone number. It's a recording. It's like a voicemail. You can leave a message. You can give me an idea for a theme or a thought or something you'd like me to cover. You can just say something funny. I've got 3 new ones that I meant to get ready for today to bring out, but I forgot where I put them, and I don't really have time to try to find them on my computer right now. So I'll play those next week. But you can call that number right there, 707-276-6602. Leave me a message. Be silly, be funny. Yeah, I'm sorry, Deb. Where did I? See, Deb, this is what I talk about, and I feel so funny. I have such a bad memory that I know I put them on the computer here somewhere, but I don't remember where I put them. As I'm standing here, did I put them in here? Where did I put them? Did I put them in here? No, that's not it. You'd think I'd put them someplace where I would be able to find them easily. I put them there? No, didn't put them there. How about there? Did I put them there? Nope, didn't put them there either. I can't remember where the hell I put them. It's so bad. It's so bad. But I'm gonna make a point. I'm gonna make a solid point of next year of tomorrow. Yeah, I need to make a folder named Mark Phone, and what did I put them under? If I type in phone, the song "Sex Over the Phone" comes up, which is a great song, by the way. If you've never listened to the Village People do "Sex Over the Phone," it's a great song. Maybe I'll play it when we get rolling here. So anyway, that'll give you something to look forward to next week. We'll be and I would love it. In fact, that would be great. And I know that I push this number a lot, but it would be great if between now and next Tuesday that a bunch of you people would call, and you can do it more than once. You can and you can use a silly voice, or you can do whatever. I played a couple last week. One was somebody asked what's better, cats or dogs, and if I could clear that up, we discussed that. There was one that mentioned about how hot I was. I'm thinking that came from somebody in the Philippines. It'd be fun. It'd be fun to have be able to do a 5 or 10 minute segment of just the messages that are left from this phone. So pay attention. If you're listening, if you're watching, pay attention. Write this phone number down. Leave me a message. You don't have to put your name. I have no idea who leaves these messages. You don't have to leave your name. There's no. I don't see the numbers. I don't know what number called. So it's completely anonymous. You're safe. I'm not going to come chase you down or anything. Leave something. And hopefully maybe next week maybe we can make it a weekly segment if it really takes off. I know I have a Chat with Chuck page on Facebook that is really, really quiet. I have a fan in the Philippines. That would be fun. It would really be fun. Okay, so let's see where we're at here. We got 15 minutes to go here. We have talked about my wife being home. Thank goodness. She's actually crashed out today because she got home last night. I guess it was about 4:30, 5 o'clock. We had dinner and she crashed out. And today she is in the recliner in front of the TV and just zoned. After a week of being gone and intense, she is completely just out there somewhere. So I'm hoping I'm not even keeping her awake because I want her to sleep because she needs to catch up. If any of you have ever been to any type of convention or like that, they're grueling, they're intense, they're enjoyable, they're tiring, and when you get home, especially if you're dealing across the country, now you're dealing with time zone change. It takes a while. It takes a couple days to get acclimated back to your real life, as it were. We stopped on the way home from the airport last night and got some Chinese food. So we have leftover Chinese, so there's no cooking involved. So that's good because that, and we like Chinese food, and we do. There was, and I don't even know why I was going to bring this up. Somebody in one of my shows over the last week, in the 30 some odd hours that I streamed, we started talking about drugs, and not legal ones. Thank you, Lynn. I try to dress up for my Chat with Chuck show. Thank you. Now I'm all shook up. I appreciate that. Thank you. And we were talking. It came up in one of the chats, and we were talking about different drugs that people take or have taken, or that we took when we were younger. And one of the individuals, and as you know, I don't like to out people, so I won't. Brought up cocaine, brought up nose candy, the powder, whatever else you want to call it. And there was a discussion in the chat about that. I had a yeah, sugar. I had my first agent, a guy in Petaluma, was mainly into bands and very band oriented. Just started booking DJs basically out of desperation because more and more people started talking to him about wanting to DJ. He's the guy I went full time with. Started in 1985. I went full time as a DJ. But prior to that, I was kind of like a part time DJ. And in the 70s, I was DJing and I was hanging out with him, and he was doing mainly bands and bars and nightclubs, and he had a few smaller bands that were doing some opening acts for some major stuff, and I was always hanging out with him. And the 70s were a wild time. I mean, we had the satin jackets, we had that stuff, and Coke was a part of that, of the 70s scene, and these bands and stuff that he was booking. They were always like, we gotta keep the agent happy, right? So they were always, hey Bob, after the show or during the break, let's do a line or whatever. And because I was hanging out with Bob, they were like, well, okay, well, here you go, Chuck, you want some? And I the very first time that I did it, cocaine just so you know, cocaine was the very first drug I ever did. I never smoked marijuana. I never took pills. I didn't even drink. I didn't like beer. I didn't like wine. And we're talking. This is about 2 years out of high school. So I went through all high school stuff. I never drank. I never did smoke pot. My wife, on the other hand, was a pothead in high school. Same high school as I went to, a year younger than I am. But I was not in that scene. I did not know anybody in that scene. I knew it was around, but I wasn't. I didn't. So the very first time that I snorted coke was at a party that with my agent, and we were, hey, it's going on back in the bedroom, as you know, did. And there was it was the classic 70s. There's a mirror and there's the lions and the guys doing this shit, and I didn't, and I took a snort, and I had no idea. I jumped into the deep end. And I had no idea what was going to happen. And I was in my mind, because I was so unaccustomed to anything. I had never done mushrooms. I had never done LSD, and that was I know people that did that. I remember leaving the bedroom, following my agent, and I took my finger and I put my finger in through his back of his belt loop, and I was leaving down the hallway with him, because I'm not sure what's going to happen. Are there going to be big, giant, hairy, flying, multicolored bats going to come flying out at me? What's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen. I was weirded out. I did not know. Well, it didn't take long for me to figure out that all the cocaine made me do was talk more. Can you imagine me on cocaine talking more? More? Yeah. I was all of a sudden the life of the frickin' party. Hey, I thought it was great. I mean, this was so. And the flip side of that, and and I started getting more and more. TB would resign. The flip side of that was that I got more and more involved in that stuff. We're not taking, but then I found out people about taking downers, and I never did that because that never appealed to me. I'm like, you know what? If I wanna melt, I'll just go to bed. I don't I don't need a downer. And the other thing is I don't have, never have had, will never have what I would consider, or what you would consider, an addictive personality, which means I don't. The only time I ever did coke was whenever I was out with Bob and was offered to it. As much as I enjoyed it when I had it, I never had the desire to go out and buy it. I never bought it on my own. I never hacked on lurking. I never, was like, oh my God, I got to score. I got to get some. Never. None of that kind of stuff, right? And so it was. That was like the first drug that I ever did, and then drinking. Again, my agent Bob. I had broken up with a girl that I had been dating for a while, and I was kind of bummed out. And we were at a club down in it was like Menlo Park or San Jose, somewhere down there. And I was actually on the dance floor, oddly enough. I was probably on coke, and I bump into this girl, or bump into a person, and I turn around to apologize for bumping into this person, and it's this girl that I had broken up with, like the week before or something, and it just completely threw me off, and I was all bummed out. So what does my agent do? What does my good agent do? He takes me over to the bar. And I'm drinking cokes, and he takes me over to the bar, and he orders me a kamikaze, right? So now I'm drinking kamikazes. So the very first really alcohol that I got into were a kamikazes, and the very first drug that I ever got into was cocaine. Thank you, Agent Bob. The same thing. And then I got a job at a club here in the area. It's no longer there. They raised it. They tore it to the ground. I worked I was a DJ. I was the house DJ in this bar for 3 nights a week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday nights. And people found out that Agent Bob was an enabler. Yes, he was. people found out that if you wanted the DJ to play your song, bring him a kamikaze. And so, there were nights where I would just have kamikazes lined up in front of me. And that's when Kajir and I had re-met when I was at that bar, when I was working there. And she was very concerned about the fact that I was an alcoholic, because I was just getting trashed 3 nights a week on kamikazes. I didn't drink anything else. That's the only thing I drank. But once the bar ended, and there, by the way, if you're a DJ and you're in a bar, there's no loyalties in bars. By the way, they will can your ass without even thinking twice about it. But when that ended, and that ended very abruptly for me, so did my drinking. Because again, I don't have that kind of personality. It's like when Twitch started. We all kind of kicked in drinking when Twitch was the big thing. Shot rules apply, or let's just get hammered. My boy DJ Ryan with his crown, or my fireball. That was the thing. And that was fun. That was cute. That was great for a while. But after a while, I was like, why? And I just stopped. Well, the heart attack happened too, so that helped. But that was that. Two Kids Lynn, you were no longer in that environment to enable the habit. Yes, exactly, and which was great. And I had no desire to take that habit home. I could have easily gone to the store and bought the the lime juice, the vodka, the triple sec, whatever goes in the kamikazes, and done that at home. But I didn't. It just and my wife was actually kind of amazed the way that worked. And I'm not really sure why I even brought this up. It was a conversation that happened in the chat a while back. Not on this level, obviously, because I was I was I was streaming. We didn't get that deep into it. But it was a kind of a fun conversation, and hearing some of the other things. DJ Hack has got he's found the commands. There's a few commands there that what do you call, I don't know what do you call them, the picture commands, like the hands or the wings and stuff like that you don't want to use, Hack. If you're really going through those things, you should look at a couple of them. There were a couple that early on, before I realized that there should be standards or limits on Twitch that are that you don't really want to use, but they're the hidden commands that we used to have. But anyway, so that's my drug story. Not that any of you really cared. You had to go out on my drug story from our stream. That's why you did this. Yes, that's exactly right. But I'm trying to think. We're down to the last couple minutes here. I think I've covered pretty much everything that are on my notes to cover. As always, I do want to thank you all for tolerating me, for putting up with me. I know it seems like I get more people in the chat when I'm actually ripping on Twitch, when I'm actually going after Twitch, when I'm talking about problems concerning whatever it be, raid trains, streamers, whatever. But I don't want to be known necessarily for being like that. Although there is a lot, there is a lot to be talked about, even over and over and over, because the raid trains that are out there, and I'm on a bunch of raid trains. I love raid trains. If you put on raid trains, just let me know. That's just Twitch staff working. Yeah. Sam Nation said, had a DJ on the Prince train that started late and didn't raid to the next streamer. Speaking of jerk stories of Twitch, so the Prince raid train is the fourth Sunday of every month. Put on by Lady J, wonderful lady. I wasn't on it this month, and I will be on it again next month. He started late, and then he didn't raid to the next streamer. What did he do when his time was up? Did he just raid out to somebody else, or did he just shut down? And then the person that was on the Prince raid train, then it just died. I'm going to assume that person will probably never be invited back. Well, you don't have to, but I'd really like to know who it was. So if you want to whisper me that, that's great. Because I've told this story. I've told this story before, and I'll tell it again. And I can't even remember now. It's been a couple of years now. I was on a raid train, and the streamer before me had like, I don't know what it was, 80 or that was damn Pete, 80 or like 90 people in his chat, and I was really looking forward to the fact that, wow, I'm gonna get hit with a really really good raid. And so I was on, and I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting, and the raid never came. And what this person did was, and of course we found out after the fact that he had all these people in his room, and rather than keep going the train, he thought, well, one of my other DJ buddies is on, and I want to support them. So he took those people and he raided into like one of his buddies, which completely wow, Lynn, okay, it wasn't his first time doing that, and he raided and completely derailed the train and left me high and dry. And I was just like, what the heck, and it was just amazing that somebody would do that, would be on a train and go, you know what, I'm not going to raid the next guy. I'm going to raid my buddy over here because I got a lot of people and I want to help him. That was just so rude, and that's I just don't I just don't get that. I don't understand why people. Oh boy, we're. I just get and I know we're at 5:00, and damn it, we're doing it. I just don't understand why people can't respect the train. What is so damn hard about respecting the train? Bane, if Sam wants to share that with you, he will. I won't pass it along. But that's up to you and Sam. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna stop right there because you know how I am, especially with raid trains. There needs to be a blacklist, a blacklist that train organizers can access to share names of streamers that are bad actors. Hack. That's not necessarily a bad idea. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. As Lynn, yeah, word does get around, and Lynn said that person's done it more than once, especially that. It is sad. I'm when I'm on a train, I try to get on first thing in the morning, if at all possible, even if I'm not watching, to support the train, to watch the train as much as I can. And my wife just, and I'm like, okay, it's 3:00. You're supposed to be rated out now. Now it's 3:01. You're late. And my wife is always like, you're not the police. You're not the train police. Let it go. I hate that. If you're on a train and your time is from 2 to 3, you rate out at 2:58 or 2:59, right? You don't wait to 3:00 or to whatever. And I know a minute is not a big deal. It really, really isn't. It may be a little bit, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, if it's only an hour-long train, but it's just the respect. It has nothing to do with, it's only a minute. What's the big deal, man? It's only a minute, which is what I've gotten before. But it's a matter of just respect. For Christ's sakes, how hard is it? Okay, all right. I'm going to I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna stop where I'm going. Again, I want to thank you all for being here. What I'm gonna do is what I normally do here is I'm gonna do my little closing, and then I'm gonna play some music and try to calm down. Dan Stance, DJ Deb, first person in the room. Deb was on. I think got her seat front and center at about 3:05 today. Bright and early. I thank you so much for the support, Deb. I do appreciate it. Everybody else, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you. Next Tuesday, if not before, on one of my streams. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to Chat with Chuck. Have something you want Chuck to riff about? Send him a whisper and get ready to be entertained. I'm Greg Murray. Thanks for listening.